Okay, this is a video that just summarizes how to upload data using the workbooks.open statement in VBA, using a little programming to put the stuff in the separate sheets, to put all the files in the separate sheets. So here's the background. I think there's another video on this, but these are all of the different files. And you can just download each one of these files, and the idea is to put all of these files into separate sheets like this. So we can just, in the next video, we're going to show you how to take these different files and put all of the data together in one enormous place. So we get all the hour by hour data. I hope Excel has enough rows for all that. Maybe it won't. The approach to do this is to get one single one of the URLs. So this is a single URL example. Then we split this URL, and what you want to do is take out the May 2014 and then just replace that May 2014 with different dates, and just cycle through the whole thing. So this is the part 1, and then part 2. Then we make a code number for the month. If this is 2, it's February, and a code number for the year, and simply create an index function that takes the year and the month. Put the index function together and put that into the URL. This URL is then used in the workbooks.open. That's the key thing, is to use the workbooks.open. And let me show you how the macro works to just get this. So the first thing you do is you define the current workbook, the current sheet, and the current cell. I think that's always a nice thing to do, not maybe every single time. Now the next thing you do is put this display alerts in, so once you cycle through all the sheets, you don't have to worry about things changing. Then the next thing is you first activate the current sheet and the current workbook. The reason you need to do that is the range here for the year. We're going to define the year from this variable. Alt F11 to get it back. And then I'm going to skip just let me skip the error trapping here for just a minute. So step 1 is to find the year. Step 2, and this is, sometimes you need to do this, it's a horrible pain. I don't know if occasionally I need to do this. This waits a bit before the read. Sometimes it goes too fast and doesn't read the sheet. Now I had a couple of different URL defined for after 2010 and before 2010, and this is the famous workbook.open sheet. So this is the URL, and this is the URL 1. Now once you've read in this in, the Excel switches you to the next file, and I define next workbook, I should say, and I define that as a temporary file. Then we select all the cells from the temporary file, go to the copy those, and then go back to the existing workbook, and then here's the key, one of the keys. You want to add a sheet, and in the sheet you want to put the new sheet right at the end. So use after sheets.count. Had to do that a while until you get used to it. And then we name the new sheet here This is the range name for the new sheet. Okay, and finally, once you've named the new sheet, you want to close that internet file you opened. So you have to go back and use that workbooks .activate with the temporary file name, close it, and then you reactivate the current sheet, which you really didn't have to do because I did it right up here. Okay, the error trapping is a real pain for me to do. I think this time I exited the for loop. I believe you could have also put on error go to 0 to remove the stuff. On error. Whoops. See, look at me. It has to have it just in one word. And, you know, why don't we'll try this. But before we do, I'm going to also show you how to delete sheets you don't want. So, where did I look at all these sheets we read in? 2008. Here, I'm going to put this break sheet all the way way in the beginning. And if I want to delete every single sheet, so we start the whole thing, reading the whole thing over. If you want to delete every single sheet before the break sheet, here's what you do. You make a loop and you start at the end and you move backwards. It only really works well if you start at the end. I used to start at the beginning. So you step by -1 and just delete sheet by sheet by sheet until you get to the break sheet. That's what this macro does. Okay, so it clears sheets and you go from sheets.count, that's the last sheet, and you go back by -1. If it's the break sheet, then you exit the whole thing. I could have put exit sub, and then if not, we're just going to delete the sheet, and again you have to put the display alerts. And whenever you do this, I would so much suggest, because I made so many mistakes with this, is to save the file all the time, especially if you have active display alerts set to false. Okay, another method to doing this is to do the whole thing, and this happened in this sheet, is if you could just do it in a kind of more manual way, where before 2009, notice how these people, they kept changing the format of the URLs. So I had to put the URLs format in, and then it eventually stayed about the same. So that's how the other sheets were made. Now that one, it's almost exactly the same thing. You put a code number in, there were 170 sheets. This time you just use the index because you've defined everything. You don't have to put anything together. Okay, although when the formats were the same, it's almost the same process. This sheet, it takes the first part and then adds the month and the year to get the whole URL together. The big trick again is just getting the URL together. And then this macro is kind of the same thing. It goes to 204. I guess that's the total number that were in that list. And then it changes the code number. Then it works through and opens this time the URL has a different range thing down here. So it uses the workbook open and opens the URL, assigns that to a temporary book, selects all the cells, copies them. After it copies them, you go back to the workbook and then add the new sheet, paste it, and change the name of the sheet. And then you have to go back to the temporary book, close it, and the process starts over and over again. So that's it. Now I'm going to clear the sheets just make a quick run of this thing. And I didn't really need to save that one. Look, it's taking a long time to save. Okay, so we just, it's taking a long time to clear the sheets too. Okay, that took us back to the break sheet just like we wanted. And then when you run the file, notice it's going to January of 2014. Now I changed the error trapping a little, and it might not work. If it doesn't work, I'm going to save the video anyway, and I'm not going to swear anything. Okay, here's what it did. I hope you see what it did. It went and went to the internet, got the file, collected the data, copied it, pasted it to the first file, put it right at the end, and kept proceeding. Now, I'm making this in July of 2014. The last date was June of 2014. So on the error, we'll see what happens. I'm sure it will blow up here. There it blew up. I didn't do the error checking correctly, but that, you get the idea. The error checking sucks. Okay, enough of that video. I'm going to make some more on this subject because I think it's really important.